Hey y'all, welcome. In today's video, we're making simple, rustic Christmas tree DIYs using wood. Let's get to it. Let's jump into DIY number one, Dollar Tree wood tree decor. You're going to need some scrapbook paper. I love this from Hobby Lobby. It has checks, plaids, stripes, anything you can imagine. You're going to need some tumbling tower blocks, paint, preferably 3 of the wood cutouts. I only had 2, so I'm using a star to make into a tree. So as you see, I'm cutting off one of the points just using a craft knife. And then you're going to flip it over, or sorry, turn it around and cut off the point on the opposite side. It only takes just a few passes with a craft knife, and these break off really easy. Just use your straight edge to get your lines straight. Now, at this point, this tree looks more like a rocket ship than a Christmas tree, but I did go ahead and sand down the edges, and you'll see later that I did fix this tree to look more like a tree. Then I just simply applied the Waverly Antique Wax to the back of all 3 pieces to give it a finished look. And this is where I'm correcting the tree/rocket ship by just using my straight edge and craft knife again and making it more of a triangle shape with straight edges rather than rounded. I applied all of my scrapbook paper just using a glue stick with a little overhang. That way I could take my sandpaper, smooth it off, and get that perfect edge. I'm also using my Waverly Antique Wax and a stencil brush to just go around all the edges of all my pieces to just give it a more rustic, distressed look. I had 6 pieces of a wood stake that I had cut previously for another project, and that's what I'm using for my stands. I just glued 3 pieces together for the front, 3 for the back, glued my trees to the wood blocks, and here I am just attaching the 3rd tree to the middle. I'm just using hot glue to attach the trees and hot glue to attach the blocks to the bottom of my trees. Next, I'm just distressing the base with my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster using a stencil brush. And I also distress some of the edges of the trees as well. To embellish it, I'm using these pine garland ties, some of the mini pine cones and berries from Dollar Tree. I just thought it needed simple, natural, rustic embellishments. The star, I love these stars. You can find them at Hobby Lobby in the My Little Christmas Tree section, and I glued it to the top of the center tree. I love the way these turned out. I love the colors of the scrapbook paper. Of course, I know you guys will let me know what you think down in the comments below. Today's video is part of the What Would You Make monthly challenge, where each creator is challenged to create DIYs using wood. It's hosted monthly by OK at Home DIY, and this month's guest hosts are Simple Roots, Simple Living, and Creating It Myself. I will have their links as well as the playlist link in the description box below. Y'all be sure to go by, check them out, and the playlist after you're done with this video. For the next DIY, you'll need a package of wood shims, some tumbling tower blocks, and a wood shadow box from the Dollar Tree. All you do is glue your shims together, lining up the big end and the small ends as close as you can get them, and you just keep hot gluing them together, stacking them on top of one another. So simple. I used 12, and this is what mine looked like. Next, I'm giving mine a rough coat of paint using my Waverly plaster chalk paint and a stencil brush. I didn't want full coverage because I wanted it to look rustic and farmhouse on the front, the back, and both sides. Now, I didn't show this on camera, but I also went in and distressed it using some antique wax. I popped the back out of my shadow box and just glued down some scrapbook paper using a glue stick. I'm attaching 6 tumbling tower blocks together, and you'll need 2 sets of these because these are going to be the base for our tree. Since these tumbling tower blocks aren't all the same size, be sure to use your carpenter square to make sure you get them all even. Now, I wanted to give a stained look to my base. So another cool trick is to mist your wood with some water and then lightly dip your paintbrush in your paint and just go over your wood that way. And it gives you a stained look without having to mix up paint with water. And, I usually end up wasting paint. So this is another alternative to getting that stained or whitewashed look to your wood. Then you can just wipe it off with a paper towel or a baby wipe. If you're new here, my name's Robin, and I love to create farmhouse style decor using Dollar Tree and other inexpensive items as well as thrift items. So, welcome. After my scrapbook paper had a chance to dry with the glue, I just took my hot glue and popped it right back into the frame. Next, next I'm taking our tumbling tower blocks, gluing them together into the center of the shadow box for the base of our tree. And you can see there to the right how I distressed my tree using the Waverly Antique Wax. Next, you'll want to use a boatload of hot glue and just center your tree to the base. To decorate my tree, I'm using my pine garland ties once again and wrapping it around the base of the tree because not all of these shims are level. So this is a good way to decorate and hide those imperfections. So I got a question for y'all. When you're watching these videos, do you like watching creators paint all the way through? How much detail do you want to see? I try to cut it down to, the important parts. Let me know what you think because I'm always trying to improve as a creator. I want to make you guys happy, give you all some value for your time, and because I really, really appreciate you guys being here. This was so easy to decorate. I tied a jute bow to the top of my wreath, added some berries, and then I added pine cones to my box. And this is how it turned out. I think this is very rustic and farmhouse. I love it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Also, if you are still hanging in there with me on this video, please leave me your favorite Christmas emoji in the comments below. If you don't have emojis, just type the word Christmas. For the last DIY, you'll need a triangle wood box from the Dollar Tree. Pop out the back because we're not going to need that. And you're also going to need some tumbling tower blocks. For the trunk of the tree, I hot glued 6 tumbling tower blocks together to form a square and just hot glued it to the center of the base of the tree. Very simple. For decorations, I once again kept it simple with just some red berries from the Dollar Tree and once again using those pine garland ties. So if you guys are new here, thank you for stopping by. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this type of content. I would love to have you join my crazy little unleashed tribe. If you're returning, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. So here it is, all finished. I used antique wax on the star and the trunk, and I think this is just very simple, rustic farmhouse, just my style. You guys let me know which one is your favorite. Was it the shim tree, the triangle tree, or the trio of trees? I think my favorite is the trio of trees. There's just something about those colors I just love. So don't forget, be sure to check out the playlist in the description box below. Go see what all these other wonderful creators have made. And as always, until next time, you guys, y'all go get your craft on. Bye.